Name? Jim. Occupation?
Actually, all those notes stretch over, you know, from the time I was in college till a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'd like to make an order, please. Morrison? What's the address here?
8216
8216
Norton Avenue.
Norton Avenue. Yeah, it's right near you.
He wanted with that they were constructions.
It's what's the apartment?
You get to be like a
Right,
20
and
centimeter.
a half a pint
when you get
of,
towards there, you're bound to fill out. Most men do
beefy.
fill out.
Oh, yeah?
A little bit, sure.
If you keep dancing, you don't.
Yeah.
That's it.
Keep exercising.
And do you want some
Yeah.
potato chips? Yeah, a bag of potato chips.
There's not a lot of
Thank you.
places to get exercise around
How
here.
large?
You would ride a bicycle, walk,
Thanks.
you're always in your car.
Sure. Yeah. Understand.
Welcome back. Today we are in the Fairhaven Memorial Park out in Santa Ana, California. And the reason we're here, well, we're here to see Pamela COURSON Morrison to some. The common law wife of Jim Morrison, or so would say. She was there when Jim Morrison from the Doors passed away in Paris, France, and then came back to California for the following 3 years. We'll get into that a little bit more. But we're going to go see where Pamela's laid to rest, and something kind of interesting about her placard as well. So, let's go see Pam. The Lizard King was Jim, obviously. Maybe the Lizard Queen is Pamela. Let's go find out. Here's the main entrance at Fairhaven Memorial. If you're coming off the 22 freeway in Orange County, you'll see this building where they have the services, no doubt, and head directly down this road, and I'll show you. It should be on the left-hand side, and we'll talk about that when we get over there. So as you enter, where we just were with that castle-looking chapel is right over here. You'll come in and you'll make your first left. You'll see these mausoleums, and we'll walk inside these mausoleums, and I'll. So as you walk in from the entrance over here, you'll make a left. She's actually right over here in the left-hand corner, right on the main street. Now, Pamela met Jim when she was 19 years old, when Jim was playing with the Doors at the London Fog in, I believe it was LA Hollywood area, and she was 19 years old. Jim was a couple years older than her. I believe he's 4 years older than her, and ever since then, they were somewhat inseparable. We'll get into that too. They had somewhat of an open relationship. They were both very into each other, but it is said that Jim liked for Pamela to find out that, you know, he would be with other women and things like that. But with that being said, Pamela was in Paris, France, when Jim passed away on July 3rd, 1971. Now, Jim passed away in a bathroom, or in a bathtub, to be specific. And what's been said, Ray Manzurk, the keyboardist from the Doors, wanted to ask Pam what really happened, and every time that he did ask her, she would run away, or she would start crying, or just, you know, try to get a hug. What was told was, supposedly, Jim was not big on heroin. Pam was. Supposedly, Pamela had some China White, told Jim it was cocaine. He did it, didn't feel well, went in the bathtub and died in the bathtub from supposedly a heroin overdose. Now, that was never determined because they never really did a autopsy. They already buried Jim, and they just said, you know, he died from cardiovascular issues of a heart attack. We're gonna go see Pamela, pay our respects, and then talk a little bit more about why she's here and not with Jim. Walking down here, that's the main building I was showing you outside. You'll make a left. And from the wall, down here in the corner, we have Pamela Susan Morrison. Now, it is Morrison on here, 1946 to 1974. Like I was saying, she grew up in Weed, California, was an LA art student dropout when she met Jim, and spent the last 5 years of her life, well, more than 5 years, 5 years of her life with Jim and was his common law married, her wife. That's really cool, and that the fact that there's flowers here too is kind of cool. Nice little fountain in this courtyard, and right here is where we entered, and then, well, it's a right, but it'd be a left if you want to make your way down here and not spend so much time trying to find where Pamela is buried. Now, when she was with Jim, he had a will and said that he left everything to Pamela. She came back to the U.S. a few weeks just after Jim died in Paris. And it is said, I just saw something in the grass there, it is said that she was still going around talking about Jim like he was still alive, which probably most people do. And, well, you know, it depends on your connection. But she would talk to the dog and call him Jim and other things. Now, Pamela's death, I'll get into that in a moment, came after the courts finally said, yes, Pamela is the rightful heir to the estate. Now, the Morrison family did not agree with that at all. And they wrapped it up in court. Same with the Doors as well. The Doors did not agree with Pamela getting all the rights from the Doors. But that being said, when Jim did pass, and finally it was found out, or it was later in court, that she was able to get $20,000. When she got the $20,000, she bought herself a VW, bought herself a mink, bought herself some, well, some heroin, some China White, they say. And where she was living in Hollywood, LA area, she's living with two friends, and they came home and saw her on the ground in the apartment, and she was face down. They thought she was sleeping. They just left her, let her be, maybe sleeping went off. They came back a few hours later. She was still there. They checked her pulse. She had passed. So with that being said, she was now gone. So the fortune was left to her name. Jim's fortune was left to her. The parents of Pamela COURSON thought that they should get that. However, the Morrison family felt that belonged to them. With that being said, they went back and forth, and I guess they came to an amicable resolution of, we'll just split it 50-50. So after she died, Pamela's dad noted on her death certificate that she was buried in Paris, France. Maybe not exactly Paris, but she was buried in France at the cemetery where Jim is and where his memorial is. However, there was so much red tape to get a body over there that he was going back and forth and was getting frustrated, and said that her dad got so frustrated with all the issues of trying to get a body and for her to be with Jim that he just had her cremated, and that's why she rests here in Santa Ana, California. Just saw this on the way to the entrance too. Do not stand at my grave and weep, I am not there. I do not sleep, I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond's gilt of snow. I'm the sunlight of ripened grain. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry, I am not there. I did not die. Well, this was the entrance to when Pamela had her service, and you can find those pictures online. Maybe I'll find one and I'll insert it here. But Ray Manzarek, the keyboardist, like I was saying, still talked to Pamela, and he came here and he actually played, I believe it was 3 songs that he played at her funeral and service that they had here for her. So with that being said, I mean, a very short life, just like Jim Morrison and so many others, passed away at the age of 27 years old. It was noted as saying that she always just wanted to be back with Jim and couldn't wait to see him again. So hopefully, you know, they met up. But out of all these, and I was just going to say, out of all these that I noticed that could have nice skylight there, flowers, or just some sort of memorial in the rings, hers is the only one that does. So it does bear the Morrison name, which I thought was kind of cool. Pamela Susan Morrison. Not forgotten. The Lizard Queen. Hello, squirrel. Oh, he's watching me. Are you a Doors fan? Oh, you're quite friendly, aren't you? No, I am not the Lizard King. Whoa, he is getting close. Hello, buddy. Want to be in the video? You want to say like and subscribe? You should. Hello. All right. How close will you get? Come on, come over here. This is my wild channel now. There he goes. And with that being said, I thought it was pretty interesting, the story. I mean, there was more to it. I like the Doors. I'm a fan. I mean, I grew up in the late 70s, 80s. I mean, the Doors were cool. I know the songs. The story of Pam, I had no idea. For her to be buried here or remembered here is kind of cool. And to see the Morrison name being on the wall here too is really something else. In Santa Ana, California, something I would have never thought for sure. But if there's something that you know, most likely got something wrong. People have a lot of speculation of what happened to Jim, if she was behind it. Tractor behind me. I appreciate you watching. As always, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, one more thing. So this is where, like I've seen earlier, the service was, and Ray and who else knows who came from the Doors when Pamela passed away. I know the Doors specifically from Oliver Stone's movie, Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison and Meg Ryan as Pamela. I totally forgot about that. Wanted to include that. Thought it was Nicole Kidman. No, Meg Ryan played Pamela Courson Morrison.